Hey, what is up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. We're going to be talking about that big WrestleMania-like show coming to you live from Australia. This is the WWE Super Showdown coming to you live from Australia in October. It's pretty cool that WWE is going to be doing this show in Australia and be giving it to us more than likely on the WWE network. They rolled out the red carpet for this. They made it a big deal. I'm not 100% sure if this is basically WWE just going there and doing a show on their own, or much like the world's greatest Royal Rumble, that basically somebody in Australia said, hey, we can bring WWE here, and it could be a big event, and they just put the money down to bring WWE there. WWE is going to be bringing, the full roster of Monday Night Raw, as well as SmackDown. No doubt in my mind that we're going to be seeing some sort of, NXT surprises. As they've already said there's going to be a lot of legends, but as of right now, there's already one main event named for this show. It's going to be The Undertaker going one-on-one against Triple H. And this one is guaranteed to be the last encounter of the end of an era. This, of course, went down WrestleMania 27 and WrestleMania 28. There were a lot of other encounters that happened, especially the WrestleMania 17 match, and I'm sure a lot of other pay-per-views as well as Monday Night Raws along the way, but a lot of people threw eggs at the end of an era at WrestleMania 28. It was a really good match. They told a really good story with Shawn Michaels being the special guest referee. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people were thinking that the end of an era meant that we were not going to be seeing Undertaker and Triple H wrestling anymore. But the WWE sort of put out a feeler of this was the last time that people from this era were going to be wrestling each other, and that's what the end of an era was, sort of putting the Attitude Era to bed, because of course The Undertaker would return to take on CM Punk at WrestleMania 29, Triple H would have, matches with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and as well as WrestleMania 29, and then of course, wrestling when needed. He's been at every WrestleMania since, and just about every time anything sort of popped up. He does sort of disappear during football season. He doesn't know the right time. He even was WWE champion since then, winning a Royal Rumble to become WWE champion and wrestling in the main event of WrestleMania 32 against Roman Reigns, to put huge exclamation points on this. But, when I first saw that they tweeted out that this show was going to be going down, and they called it the Super Showdown, I honestly thought that they were making a big deal about a Madison Square Garden show because of the fact there's been a lot of talk about Ring of Honor and AAA trying to run Madison Square Garden, the biggest wrestling mecca, the home of WWE for so long before them packing up their bags and heading to Barclays Center to basically just have a new arena that fits more people, be better for television, and just not having the huge costs that Madison Square Garden does. But this is going to be coming to you from Australia in the NGC Center, where they play cricket there. I don't know a lot about cricket, but it's got to be big there if they have their own freaking stadium there for it, and it's built for that. But with it, sort of being the dome-like structure of it being a circle. I mean, there is no top over the top, but this is going to be big. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm trying not to put a lot of expectations on this match. If you think about the last two Undertaker matches that we've seen, that of course would be the John Cena match at WrestleMania, where everybody normally just goes all out. And instead we saw, Undertaker beat John Cena in about 3 minutes. Nothing really big there. Didn't really take any bumps. I don't know if that's just basically Vince trying to get the most out of him, because right after that they announced that Undertaker was going to be wrestling at the world's greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, where he had a casket match against Rusev, where basically we saw Undertaker's 5 moves of doom, saw him throw Rusev into the casket, and that was about it. Basically, we got to see the Undertaker entrance. We got to see the Undertaker do his pose down once it was all done, and them roll the casket back to the back. So that's basically what Undertaker has come down to. So I mean, even the Triple H match, against John Cena at that show, they wrestled, they had a match. It definitely wasn't in the top 10 matches that either one of those guys had. It looked like those guys rolled back the clock and were just wrestling just a normal house show to be there. I know that there was a lot of negative feelers about the World's Greatest Royal Rumble once it was done. Maybe WWE's gonna have to step their the style of show up for the WWE Super Showdown. It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a big one. Definitely Triple H, who has not beaten The Undertaker in his last 3 appearances, is gonna want to step it up to try and get that win. I don't really see it happening. I don't see Undertaker losing any of these farewell matches because of the fact you never know when his last one is going to be. When Undertaker has normally had to get some sort of a surgery to repair himself after a big match. It normally takes him almost the whole year to recover to come back for the next one. And who knows, at this point, The Undertaker might be wrestling against somebody on the roster against anybody at SummerSlam, and they might want to, well, no, never mind, because this is happening so far in the future. It's in October. You don't want to take him out of the hunt for WrestleMania the next year, because at this point, there is no ending The Undertaker's career. They have to pay it off somehow, and the Roman Reigns loss would have been the best way to do it, but for some reason they keep, digging this guy up and bringing him out here. So I guess I did just screw up a little bit and lose my train of thought, but we do these videos off the cuff. I don't really think about them a lot before I come in here and do these. So, that's really going to be it. I'm sure that if this match gets closer, if they decide to talk about it on television and make it some sort of an actual storyline, with Triple H, delivering promos against the dead man, calling him out or something like that, it's going to make it bigger. But at this point, I'm going to go into it with low expectations, knowing that it probably is going to be the last time that I get to see these guys wrestle against each other. And WrestleMania 27, is one of my favorite matches that I've ever seen. Television, live, anything, regardless, that it's going to be hard not to have expectations. But I think if I go into them with lower ones, it's going to be fun. I've already said 1,000 times, I don't think Triple H will win another match in his career. At this point, with him being the, so-called Vince McMahon of WWE, taking on that business-like role, it doesn't make sense for him to be going out there burying guys along the way. I do think that he will have programs along the way where maybe he gets the better of somebody on Monday Night Raw, but when the match comes down, whether if it's against Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, if he has another match against, well, he did beat Ambrose. If he has another match against Dean Ambrose, I think that he's going to be doing the job for just about anybody on the roster, even if it's the freaking Brooklyn Brawler who comes back for another shot at it. So we'll see what goes down with this one. It's going to be going down October 6th from Australia. I'm sure we'll see it on the WWE Network. My biggest question is what time that means we're going to see it here in the United States, but I guarantee you, just like that World's Greatest Royal Rumble where I was at work when it was on because it was just a random Friday that I normally have off, I had to work, I'm sure I'll watch it the second I get home.